morning. I am Clara Ross Stamps, and I will serve as your program guide. Thank you for joining Kentucky State University for the State of the University Address today. To our beloved students, welcome back to the Hill. We are happy to see you here. To say we missed you would be an understatement. You are the reason we are all here. To our faculty, staff, alumni, and friends, we appreciate you tuning in as well. 2020 came in with a purpose. This year has troubled us in ways we could not imagine. A global pandemic and a national movement for social justice. No justice, no peace. 2020 has made us lean into discomfort like never before. We have suffered and mourned the loss of so many. It has made us rethink our purpose and refocus in order to just survive, to breathe. Yet we are grateful to be gathered here on the Hill today. The college on the Hill is still full of wisdom, opportunity, knowledge, and empowerment. It is forged in the strength and the hope of our forefathers. We have work to do. Kentucky State University, we have much work to do. Our students reminded us just on last week to stay woke. Wisdom, opportunity, knowledge, and empowerment. President Brown, on behalf of our students and the Kentucky State University family, we thank you for your leadership as we navigate these uncertain times. Living in the age of COVID, we will not wipe down these mics several times today. I will not be returning to the podium. For those of you in attendance, please follow the printed program. For those of you joining us online, you will find the program at kysu.edu. Thank you for that musical selection, Donald Lee. Up next will be Dr. Jason Keeler. He will be followed by the welcome by Miss Kentucky State University, Miss Yasmin Harper. Dr. Derek Greenfield will give the introduction of our SGA president, Mr. Kirk Miller, who will give the State of the Student Body address. Dr. Timon Graham will present the President's Award of Excellence. And then our Executive Vice President, Mr. Douglas Allen, will introduce the University President, Dr. M. Christopher Brown II, for the State of the University address. We will then all stand for the conclusion of the program by singing our alma mater, led by Dr. Lori C. Hicks. Thank you.
Good morning, students, faculty, staff, alumni, and others. My name is Jason Keeler. I am the Faculty Senate President for this academic year. On behalf of the faculty, I would like to welcome you back to the Hill. Your return has brought respite and a sense of normalcy to the campus during this global pandemic. Your efforts to socially distance and to utilize your mask show your dedication to the health and well-being of the Thoroughbred family. I commend your efforts. And while COVID-19 restrictions limit our ability to physically gather, we are delighted to have you participate with us and share in the State of the University address. With that, I officially call the Kentucky State University Fall 2020 State of the University Assembly to order.
I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing to the glory that will be revealed in us. Romans 8:18. Greetings, students, alumni, Board of Regents, President Brown, faculty and staff. I am Yasmin Harper, your 91st Miss Kentucky State University. The reason we gather here today is to honor our great institution and its efforts to protect and serve the pursuit of education, livelihood, and happiness. Kentucky State University has proven many times over to be the oasis of hope, family, and success, and that's the legacy I wish to see be kept alive. Each time we wake up, we are waking up to and in history. HBCUs matter because the Black women and Black men at HBCUs matter. As Miss Kentucky State University, I am every woman I represent, and the women I represent are the Breonna Taylors, the Michelle Cusos, the Natasha McKennas, Katherine Johnsons, and Sandra Blands. We are important, and we cannot be silenced and dismissed anymore. We assemble because although we are all different, we are all still one. We are all working towards the same goal, and not just for a safer Kentucky, but a safer world. HBCUs are the covens of safety, but more specifically, Kentucky State University is our coven of our preservation of our Black lives, our Black history, our Black futures, and our Black truths. Verse 3, lines 3 and 4 of our school's alma mater reads, "Holding the torch of wisdom, she leads the way, clasping the hands of freedom as she marches along. Our foundation is based upon our activism, education, and involvement. We are the future, but more importantly, we are the present. We have been taught as Black students to normalize our trauma, but I commend my university for not normalizing trauma, but instead normalizing taking actions and exercising our rights and normalizing the positive expressions of emotions. We are not what society deems us to be. We are strong, we are fighters, and we are family. We are not our sufferings, but our triumphs. We are the masters of our own legacies. So I humbly say, if our lawmaking bodies cannot show us the way to be heard, then may you all forgive us as we are lost in finding our way. We matter. The late, great Shirley Chisholm said, if they don't leave you a seat at the table, bring your own. Thank you.
Good morning. SGA President and Student Regent Kirk Miller is a senior business administration major from Louisville, Kentucky, where he graduated from Central High School. At Kentucky State University, he has thrived academically and become deeply involved in a wide range of campus activities. A two-time member of the Dean's List, President Miller is a proud participant of Student Support Services, where he was elected to become founding Chief of Staff of Breaking the Cycle, a campus organization focused on empowering students to overcome barriers in their lives and to transform their families and communities. In addition, he has gained considerable leadership experience as a resident assistant and a member of the LEAD 1886 Leadership Academy. And most recently, he became a spring 2020 initiate of the Beta Mu chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. After graduation, President Miller desires to attend officer training school to prepare for a leadership role in the U.S. Air Force. Ultimately, he plans to attend graduate school and combine the knowledge and experience gained from his academic and military background to pursue his dream career as a successful entrepreneur. Now, in just a few months, President Miller and his SGA Executive Board have been incredibly impactful on campus, hosting a considerable number of programs, including a virtual Mental Health Awareness Week, and spearheading various initiatives to promote student empowerment and voice. Now, on a personal note, I know President Miller to be an incredibly intelligent, thoughtful, and honest young man. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Now, last year, as our team worked collaboratively on the big homecoming concert, we had all kinds of twists and changes and turns at every moment, but the one constant that existed is that I would pull Kirk Miller into the study lounge of the halls where he was an RA and say, Kirk, this is what I'm thinking about for the concert. We had a quick change. Tell me what your opinion is. Now, I'd only known him for a month or so at that point, but I quickly was confident about two things: that Kirk understood students and wanted the best for the students at K-State, and that number two, I could trust him, that he wouldn't spill the beans about our constantly evolving plans. Indeed, President Miller is so impressive in his passion, his wisdom, and his love for this university. and he can be trusted as the leader of this incredible student body. Indeed, I am honored to introduce SGA President Kirk Miller.
To our phenomenal students and supportive alumni, to the Board of Regents, President Brown, faculty and staff, good morning. When you ask me the state of our university, I say faster, I say higher, I say stronger. We owe this to our dedicated faculty and staff for their ability to be flexible in uncertain times, to our president for exemplifying what leadership looks like when tough decisions need to be made, to our beloved student body for embodying resiliency, understanding, and what it means to be truly thorough through a pandemic, through racial injustice. So indeed, it is a good morning on the Hill. On behalf of your 87 Student Government Association, I welcome you to the State of the University Assembly and assure you we will always work in your favor, exceed your expectations, and lay the foundation for future SGAs to soar high above us. The question is how? How do we exceed your expectations? How do we lay the foundations for the future? How do we become faster, higher, and stronger as a student body and as an institution? If this era of COVID-19 has taught us anything, it is that we've always had the ability to do what we needed to do. We just didn't have the pressure. And if you haven't noticed it yet, the pressure has been applied. The pressure physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But what COVID-19 forgot, what racial injustice forgot, is that pressure only makes diamonds. And in the honorable words of activist and minister Malcolm X, there is no better than adversity. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance next time. And what I know with 100% certainty is the HBCU in the capital of Kentucky is going to perform. Oh, we're gonna put on a show. And while the show curtains are not fully open yet, your SGA will plant the seeds for only something great to be in the spotlight, because this is our purpose. Understanding this, we grow stronger by reactivating Collegiate 100, a campus-based student organization with its initiatives that support the development of social, emotional, and educational needs of the youth, working to charter Progressive Black Men Incorporated, Sisters Incorporated, and a NACWC chapter to help the development of both our young men and women and give them an opportunity to experience brotherhood and sisterhood outside of Greek life. We grow higher by making the necessary connections with academic affairs to not just create programs, charter honor societies and national organizations, but implement policies that reinforce and create longevity in their success. We grow faster by establishing an SGA Student Emergency Support Fund to assist students with urgent financial needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. We give our students one less thing to worry about, and you will be able to apply starting tomorrow via the new KSU website. Finally, with our Miss Kentucky State University, Yasmin Harper, I am co-chairing the Kentucky State University Woke Task Force, which believes Black people will not suffer peacefully, and the murder of Black people cannot be justified by a badge, a warrant, or any other excuses that might be given to desensitize us and normalize the blatant extermination of our people. The Woke Task Force also believes that Black colleges are the backbone of higher education in the Black community and refuse to be treated anything less than historic. This task force will wield our wisdom, own our opportunities, know true knowledge, and empower our people. We believe these initiatives will lay the foundations for the future, and as a student body and institution will give us the tools we need to go faster, higher, and stronger than the expectations that have been set for us and not by us. The state of the student body is, we are in the midst of our adversity, feeling defeated from a pandemic that has changed our normal way of life, heartbroken over the racial injustice we see across the globe, but we will not let these lessons go unlearned. The student body will improve its strength and ascend to new heights because we will forever be thorough. I can't thank you enough for allowing me to serve in this position and hold you in high regard. Let us come together to put on Kentucky State University's new performance. Thank you.
Good morning. Each year, we present the President's Awards of Excellence in the areas of community engagement, cooperative extension, research, student services, teaching, and university service. This year, we congratulate 6 new recipients. Please come forward as I call your name. President Brown will now come forward to present the awards. In her absence, for the President's Award for Excellence in Community Engagement, Ms. Irma Johnson. Ms. Johnson currently serves as the Interim Director of the Office of Regional Stewardship and Public Engagement and Director of CESCA, the Center of Excellence for the Study of Kentucky African Americans. Ms. Johnson has been employed at KSU for over 17 years after graduating from here in 1992. She is currently a board member for over 12 nonprofits in the Frankfort community and is married to William Simpson. She is the mother of 2 and grandmother of 6. Join me in congratulating Ms. Irma Johnson. The President's Award for Excellence in Cooperative Extension, Mr. Christopher Cribbs. Mr. Cribbs is currently serving as the State Specialist for Entrepreneurship within the College of Agriculture, Communities, and the Environment. He has been with Kentucky State since 2018, serving in multiple roles, such as Assistant Vice President and Dean of Students, Athletic Director, and Development Officer. He is blissfully married and has 2 20-year-old daughters. Join me in congratulating Mr. Cribbs. The President's Award in Research, Dr. Mary Barr. Dr. Barr is an Assistant Professor of Sociology at Kentucky State and is one of 3 Kentuckians to receive the 2020-2021 grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Dr. Barr has received travel grants from the Congressional Library in Boston and libraries at the University of Wisconsin and Virginia. In 2021, she will be a visiting scholar in the Department of African American Studies at Northwestern University. Congratulations to you, Dr. Barr. Mr. D. Jamar Simmons is the Principal Investigator and Director of Student Support Services here at KSU. His primary focus is aiding first-generation low-income and students with physical and mental limitations to graduation status. Mr. Simmons proudly holds membership in Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Omicron Delta Kappa National Leadership Honor Society, and the NAACP, among many other organizations. Mr. Simmons received his bachelor's from Clark Atlanta University, his Master of Education from Mercer University, and is currently pursuing his Doctor of Philosophy degree at Bellarmine University. Congratulations, Dr. Simmons-elect. Dr. Shannon Brogan is currently a professor of speech and communication within the School of Humanities and Performing Arts, and is our 2020 recipient for the President's Award for Excellence in Teaching. Since 2009, Dr. Brogan has served at Kentucky State University and currently serves as the advisor for the speech communication minors and academic liaison and advisor for the KSU football team. She received her Bachelor of Science and PhD from Ohio University and Master's from West Virginia University. Congratulations, Dr. Brogan. And the President's Award for Excellence in University Service, Mr. Pat Pruitt. Mr. Pruitt currently serves as the Security Supervisor for Campus Community and an alumnus of Kentucky State. He was a member of the Beta Mu chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and his work philosophy is to help build a better relationship by bridging the gap between students, faculty, staff, and the community with community-based policing. Recently, Mr. Pruitt, in addition to his 12-year-old son, Patrick Jr., his significant other gave birth to their 2-week-old son, Braden. Congratulations, Officer Pruitt. And one more time for all of our award winners. Thank you.
One picture. We're all looking that way.
Good morning, KSU family. Dr. M. Christopher Brown II is the 18th president of Kentucky State University, but we know him for his phrase, excellence without excuse. During his tenure at Kentucky State, President Brown has moved KSU forward, lowering tuition, increasing enrollment, and improving fiscal viability. A Kentucky colonel with a graduate degree from the University of Kentucky, President Brown was a son of the Commonwealth well before he stepped on campus. After more than 3 years here, he is entrenched in the Bluegrass, leading Kentucky State as the most affordable and accessible public institution. President Brown has a PhD in higher education from the Pennsylvania State University, an MS in education from the University of Kentucky, and a BS in elementary education from South Carolina State University. President Brown was previously the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost at Southern University A&M System. Prior to accepting Kentucky State's presidency, President Brown served as President and Institutional Executive Officer at Alcorn State University. He has served in other executive and academic roles at the American Association of State Colleges and Universities, Alcorn State University, Fisk University, the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, the American Association of Colleges of Teachers Education, and the United Negro College Fund. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our President, M. Christopher Brown II, the 18th President of Kentucky State University. Thank you.
Oh, y'all act like y'all don't know nonstop, right? All right, cool, cool. To our Board of Regents, faculty, and staff, to our students, particularly our Student Government Association, the Royal Court, League 24, to our alumni and stakeholders, welcome to the 2020 State of the University Assembly. It has been an interesting year. There's a quote by Karen Samuelson that says, when your world gets turned upside down, view it from a new perspective. Kentucky State has responded to the challenges set before us, not by complaining, grieving, griping, moaning, or grumbling, but by growing our way out of a pandemic, out of a recession, and out of an uncertain future. COVID-19 met Kentucky State in March of this year, and we made the historic decision to suspend on-campus learning and to move to remote instruction 8 days before the World Health Organization even declared the coronavirus, COVID-19, a global pandemic. March was surreal. The depopulation of the campus, for those of us that were here, was nightmarish. It was like walking through a ghost town. And then there were unprecedented expenses in excess of $6 million. And so we made the difficult decisions for the sake of our health, our safety, and our viability to meet the unplanned expenses by purchasing PPE, masks, hand sanitizer, microban, Hydrolyte electrocyte, and even securing the campus on lockdown. But despite the challenges associated with the COVID-19 outbreak, I have never been more excited about the future of our great university. We are moving forward and the campus forward. The ancient Olympic Games were held in Olympia, Greece, in the 8th century before Christ, and then again in the 4th century for many, many years. But in 1894, Baron Pierre de Coubertin founded the International Olympic Committee and brought back the Olympic Games, leading to international sporting events in the world. They adopted as their motto, Situs Altius Fortius, interpreted in English as faster, higher, stronger. They called for athletes to scale the heights, broaden the horizons, reset the standards, beat the clock, and better the best. And I am proud that Kentucky State is scaling the heights, broadening our horizons, resetting standards, beating the clock, and is increasingly better than the best. Our fall 2020 preliminary enrollment shows that we have students from 57 of the 120 counties across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Additionally, we have students from 37 of the 50 states across this nation. We are not just Kentucky's university, we are America's university. Not only are we America's university, but the 2020 fall enrollment shows that we have students from 4 of the 7 continents, North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, with plans to expand to South America in 2021. We are the world's university. I am so excited about this year's freshman class. I was excited last year when I thought it couldn't be better. This year, our freshman class comes from 27 states. 38% of them are from Kentucky and 73% are living in residence halls. They've chosen majors in math, science, and analytics, nursing, business, psychology, criminal justice, and computer science. 1.1% of them graduated from Frankfurt High Schools. Less than 1% were homeschooled, but 37% graduated from Kentucky High Schools, up from 32% last year. More and more Kentuckians are choosing Kentucky State. And not only that, we continue to see increases in our transfer students, not just from KCTCS, but from other public and private institutions in the Commonwealth. We are not an institution of last resort. We are an institution of choice. This is the exciting number. Last year, we boasted our freshman class topping a GPA of 3.02 and a 993 average SAT. This year's freshman class has increased by 0.15 of a point to a 3.17 average GPA and an average SAT score of 1,046. That's an increase of 53 points. When we look in the student profile, what you will see is that we continue to best our goal for the state legislature's management improvement plan. We have flatlined in graduate enrollment. It's an area that we need to grow and that we'll focus on. But if you notice, the number of underrepresented minorities is 67%, which is the highest number that we have had in a decade, as well as the number of black students at 61%, the highest number in a decade. And when many HBCUs females outnumber men 18-1 or 7-1, we continue to maintain proportional male-female enrollment. Similar increases are evidenced in our faculty profile. Since my arrival, the number of African American faculty has increased by 71%, bringing parity in the faculty ranks, and we maintain balance in our gender profile. In the staff ranks, despite the fact that we did the 2020 realignment, which led to the reduction in personnel, we still maintain the same staff headcount that we had year over year. If you look at academic degree production, this number shows the final effects of the purge. Those of you who've been here for a decade or so will recall the great purges of 2014 and 2015. These are the final trend lines of that decline in enrollment. If our transfers hold, we should begin to see this year and the top off in 2020 with an increase in academic degree production. So this year should be the first increase post-purge, and we should balance back by the year 2024. Overall, a review of the institutional profile shows that the rumors that we are an out-of-state campus are greatly exaggerated. This last fall, our student body was 72% Kentucky residents. We're still waiting on this year's count. And 67% were the first in their families to go to college. That's an increase from 43% last year, 24 percentage points. Kentucky State is an institution of access and opportunity. 72% of our students are either first generation, low income, or both. But just because a person has limited financial access does not mean they have limited mental acuity. Our number, yeah, you can clap for that, that's true. The number of students who made the Dean's List and or academic honor roll increased by 169, and that was in the midst of COVID-19. So we should give our students a round of applause for studying and getting the job done. When you look at the retention and graduation rates, we continue to focus on our ABCs because those tend to be your highest performance rates. The number of athletes graduating in 150%, the number of band members, the number of choir members, and the number of about SGA in a moment. Well, I'll say it now, and then I'll get to overall. One of the interesting things we have had, which I think very thankful for Mr. Darrell Love, we will not allow it to continue. We've had some members of SGA who wanted to stay one more year to complete SGA projects and self-selected to non-complete. And so we're going to be forcing them not to make that self-selection and to go ahead and roll their degree, even if they remain for graduate work. But overall, the baseline cohort, for those of you who recall, Kentucky State had a graduation rate of 14%. This year, we topped 23%, just shy of 24%, and our projected cohort for 2021 is 34%, and for 2022 is 45%. So we're making tremendous progress in completion. This has been an area of concern for our faculty, and that is the benchmark about salaries. You will note in this slide, I don't know if Jason Keeler is still here. Oh, I see you. The first thing you'll note is that the salaries for Kentucky State faculty are about $20,000 lower than our peers at either the master's level or HBCUs, and our bandwidths are too close. So they're about $5,000 between ranks, which is highly unusual. The challenge to fixing this problem, EVP Allen, is about $3.5 million to correct $20,000 for 161 faculty. So this is a challenge we will have to take over time. Salary adjustments fall into three areas: cost of living, merit, and compensation for compression. We have not been able to address merit or compensation for compression, which is called equity adjustments, and so we focused our attention on cost of living. So in 2018, you will recall, we raised the minimum wage for everyone to $15 an hour. So in 2018, we raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. In 2019, we did the 1,886, or the 1886 cost of living spot award, where everyone got a one-time non-base adjustment of 1886. It was our intention to do 1.886% in cost of living last year, and if you recall, it was in fact announced at the end of the year Christmas social that it would be coming. When COVID came, we were unable to find the funds to do the 1.886 across the board. And so we delayed it and elected to only give the 1.886 to the smallest group, which was faculty. But we still owe the rest of the campus staff the 1.886% cost of living. But we did do faculty this year. The great news is that others are beginning to recognize our growth and achievement. I'll start at the bottom. This year, we ranked number 12 in the best college for veterans in our region. This is new. We've never been ranked in this before. This is our first time being ranked for a veterans institution. And I'd certainly like to thank Dr. John Gregory, who's over our military affairs, for that. We ranked number 7 among public institutions in our region. We ranked number 1 in terms of best value in our region, and that's an increase over last year. We ranked number 53 in social mobility, number 36 among all Southern institutions, and last year we were number 35 among HBCUs, and we jumped 6 points to number 29. And I think everyone deserves to give themselves a round of applause for that achievement. This is an exciting slide. We held our first graduate school fair this year. We held 2 career fairs, student advising sessions. We sent students to Thurgood Marshall. We named 2 students to the White House Competitiveness Scholar Program, which is an increase. We had none last year. And we had 375 students in career professional development activities. The year before, we had only 232. So this is an increase of 143 students. But the most important numbers are on the top. 78% of the students who have completed Kentucky State, we know exactly, those who are working, we know exactly where they're employed. The first 2 numbers are even more important for me, because what this says is that years ago, we could not tell you what happened to students after they graduate, after completing Kentucky State. But we know today that 68% of our graduates are employed 1 year after graduation, and 25% are in graduate school. Added together, Kentucky State can account for 93% of its graduates each graduation, and that's a major achievement. We continue to maintain instructional costs with modest growth. This growth that you'll see is primarily the 1.886% adjustment. We continue to monitor pension. We received pension relief this year of a maintenance of 49%, but we are slated without legislative action to go to 84%, which will be an additional $1.3 million hit to our bottom line. This is the number that worries me the most. I've been crying about it each year as it's increased, and we're just going to have to do something about it, and that's our sick leave and vacation liability. The accumulation rates are too high. The policy as it's currently written allows us to carry forward too many days in a tiered approach. Kentucky State's annual payroll is $34 million, and so our comp absences account for nearly 7% of our payroll liability. The national average is 4% or less, so we should really be about $1.3 million in vacation liability, basically back where we were in 2015 or 2016. And so I've charged EVP Allen to work toward this. The great news is that our current and long-term debt is down. It's down 50% decrease since my arrival. Since I've arrived, we've paid down nearly $3 million in our current and long-term debt. And so we hope to have all of this debt abated by 2022 or 2023. Our grants and contracts are up. Special shout out to all the grantsmen and women in the new STEM school and to the individuals in agriculture who've been advantaging the new Farm Bill. I would like to note that this total grant and contract does not include our COVID and CARES grant awards that we use as pass-through funds. So those are not registered there. If we had added the CARES, we would have a number of like $9 million, but it would throw us off because that's not going to be reoccurring. And so it's not included in the grants and contracts number. Additionally, since my arrival, the endowment is up 24%, an increase in $3,740,671. And so this is money that goes to support student scholarships and aid. We pull about 5% off this endowment annually to support student retention and completion. We're very pleased with our annual change in net fiscal position. Certainly you see the green. We like to always highlight that because that was an odd year, 2019. That was last year, if you recall. Kentucky State is in what's called heightened cash management. And as of June, don't stress over it, as of June of this year, there are 433 institutions on heightened cash management. In fact, the entire state of West Virginia is on heightened cash management. Those who were here will recall in 2016, 2017, the institution was late submitting its audit. And the actual penalty for not submitting an audit is removal from the federal financial aid program. We were able to lobby to get placed on heightened cash management, which typically runs for about 5 years. So we should be coming off in 2021, 2022. And basically, so if you're not on heightened cash management for the students, when you register, so this helps explain the delay in your refund checks. When you register, if you're not on HCM, as soon as you register for classes, the institution can pull your financial aid down from the cloud, from the federal government. When you're on heightened cash management, we have to register you, count you in your seat for 15 days, then submit all the information to the federal government, and then they refund us the money for your enrollment. And so in 2019, we were waiting on $5 million from the federal government that came about 10 days after the fiscal year closed. Had it arrived 10 days earlier, we would have been $67,886 to the black, and that was explained by our auditors. My apologies to any seniors or juniors in the room or on Zoom, but this year the General Assembly did approve a bond for new student housing. Yes, that's exciting. And so Kentucky State will be building its first new dorm, Student Life people, residence hall in a decade. It will be in between New Young and the halls, and this will be taken up at the next board retreat. So we're looking forward to that new all-private room residence hall. Last year, we proposed several campus initiatives. I Got Next, that was pulled off, and we're thankful for those who are pre-registering. We started the Thoroughbred Learning Center, but it flooded, and we're in the process of bringing that room back. Used to be ACE. We're reopening TLC. The Freshman Zero Balance Laptop Initiative was successfully initiated, and as is evidenced today, League 24 Student Ambassadors was initiated. We had hoped to do Thoroughbred Trade Day, which did not happen. That would mean that each of the campus administrators that you see would trade places with a student, and we'd have to go to all your classes that day, and you would get to sit in our office and do all of our paperwork that day. But COVID-19 stopped it, as well as our Brown Bag series. We are finalizing our strategic plan. Dr. Schneller and AVP Love are working those, and we look forward to seeing it soon. I want to do it this way. Kentucky State, the current state of our university is that Kentucky State is facing Olympic-sized challenges, but we're doing it with quiet, calm, and steady intention. The university is successfully using benchmarking data and best-in-class evidence to drive outcomes and practices. And even amid COVID-19, I am pleased that Kentucky State University is faster, higher, and stronger than before. My wife and my family ask me, why do I work myself to a pulp? And those of you who recall my rushes to the emergency room this past season with my blood pressure elevated, trying to manage this crisis, I hope this poem helps you. In The Bridge Builder, William Allen Drumgoole says, "An old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you're wasting your strength with building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at evening tide?" The builder lifted up his old gray head. "Good friend, in the path I've come," he said, "there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that was of naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him." Kentucky State is Citius Altius Fortius. We are higher, faster, and stronger. We are moving KSU forward. I thank you for this opportunity to serve as your 18th president.
Please stand for the alma mater. Hail to our alma mater, dear is her name, and there shall be no other to surpass her fame. Hers is the hand that guides us day after day, and she will stand beside us when we go on our way. May blessings be upon her, shepherd of youth. She holds the seat of honor in the hall of truth. Memories of her shall never fade from our hearts, and we will praise her ever for the
Thank you. Just a quick announcement. Immediately following this ceremony, we'll have a grab-and-go lunch.